is this just fantasy, or is this just some free comics that came out free comic book day this year? And the answer is yes to both, maybe. Anyway, I want to talk quickly about these two free comic book day comics that came out. One is Dynamite's like Red Sonja free comic, and it's like a predecessor to their new storyline, I'm assuming, I guess. And this is also a predecessor to the new Conan the Barbarian book that's going to be put out by Titan Comics. So some interesting things to note about each one. This is a really nice Nick Bradshaw cover. Just, I don't know, real interesting character design. Like just a unique artistic voice or vision. This really cool Hydra creature that she's fighting. It's a fun cover. And this is also a great cover. This is a cover by Rob De La Torre, or De La Torre. And he's going to be the main artist on the new Conan the Barbarian book. And one thing right away that you're going to notice, or at least I'm going to notice, is the very big John Buscema energy that comes from the line work and the artwork of Rob De La Torre's work. It's just 100% from the same bloodline of John Buscema. And I think that's the whole vibe that Conan the Barbarian is going to be going for from Titan. I think they're going to take it back to the John Buscema era of Conan, with their main color book, and it's even got a very similar design to its title that it did back in the 70s and 80s. But not the same, because it can't conflict with Marvel's, branding or whatever, but it's going to ape it as close as possible. They're also bringing back Savage Sword of Conan, which is, I think, exciting, in the same black and white format, and they've already got some really cool artists lined up for that. But anyway, I just want to show these real quick because I think it's just interesting perspective on these two different titles that are, used to be interrelated, and now, Dynamite has been publishing Red Sonja for a while, and Conan's been with Marvel the past couple years, and now it's going away again. So I just want to show like the difference between how each one works. So right away, we have a John Buscema work of art behind the Nemedian Chronicles quote that just describes the era of Conan and who Conan is. But yeah, it's a gorgeous John Buscema drawing, but it's basically setting you up. And then of course here we have our map, because every good fantasy book has a map. And right away, the art here is wonderful. I'm not going to knock Rob De La Torre for being very similar in style to John Buscema, because that's high praise. John Buscema is one of the titans of the comic industry, one of the greats of his generation. And to resemble him is 100% a compliment. So I think his figures are great. The line work, the inking is also just really nice and scratchy enough to be have some grit to it, but also polished enough to be clear. Like the clear isolation of this axe in the silhouette here is just great, and also great use of color, designating this purple person so you can follow their path. You can also follow this axe from panel to panel, and this clear through motion. He threw this axe at this guy. This great body language here. It's just wonderful, And then we have our reveal, Conan the Barbarian, and again, very John Buscema, as well as all the other faces and figures. And I'm not familiar with Rob De La Torre's work, so I don't know if all of his work leading up to this has been, very John Buscema-esque, but It certainly, is a good match now. I mean, it's just, yeah, and it's just good looking stuff. It's really good line, really good, lovely line work. And look at that severed head. So maybe I'm guessing that Titan's going to be a little more hardcore than the old Conan books because they can be. We also have similar titles for the different people, like Grim Jim Zub and Ravaging Rob de la Torre. So it's 100% aping the old Marvel look, and it's doing a good job, and it's really nice art, and it's just this great little battle scene. The battle, it's good body language. The costuming, like I say, I always care about the costuming in these fantasy books. Costuming looks great, looks appropriate. There's a great amount of grit to the structures and the landscape. Not much plant matter to discuss. There's like a little tree silhouette here, but we'll get into that. Yeah, and it's just and it's just telling a quick little backstory of Conan himself, and we're just getting a sense of who he is. This big helmet in the front seems significant. But yeah, and we're also getting just this look of the world, and really, really nice page layout here. Really love, and it's nice for the centerfold of the book to kind of go across the midsection here. But it shows this, what the world can be like. We have, like deserts and Vikings, and we, these, cities. We also have saber-toothed cats. We got all, but then we also have, fucking ghouls and elephant-headed dudes, and monsters and ape men, and I'm guessing that's Belit, right there. And also Conan's got his helmet back. His from the old days of Conan the Barbarian. I'll bring him up real quick in this little Marvel collected job. It's not the same helmet, but it's very similar to the old days. It's but yeah, they're taking Conan back to his roots. Look at this great little castle here in the back. Great. And also just love the depiction of magic here. It's kind of grotty and gross. So wry smile of Conan here. One of the things I hope for this series is that Conan isn't going to be just a big dumb brawler. I want him to have the same kind of dimension that he had in the old books, just because, yeah, he was dangerous as a foe, but he was also, a complex human being with more than just I'm a big brute. So hopefully they remember that as well as the art, because they clearly remember what it looked like, but I just hope it feels right. But time will tell. I will definitely be picking up this book and talking about it here. But just, yeah, great last panel here. Gorgeous color and lighting. Just great. Love the dark stones here. I get fixated on rocks. Look at me. I got all this stuff here, and I'm like, look at this rock here, though. Look at this rock. So, yeah. I strongly recommend, or at least I'm going to take a look at it. And I'm definitely going to be trying to pick up the Magnola cover. Because, it's Magnola. Come on. It's great. Anyway. And apparently there's, video games and stuff for Conan. Who knows? Anyway. So now, on a different note, here's the Red Sonja Free Conflict Day. So, we're going to start a little different here. So, I want to talk about this one because we have Walter Giovani on art duty here. And Torunn Gronbekk. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'll try or I'll be confident or whatever. So here we have our opening page. And, we have a nice bustling town. So that's something that the Conan book didn't quite have. It didn't have this, world at peace or normal. It was just battle, which is good. The battle was great, but this is just a different kind of tone to it. Is this, the start of this opening village. But right away, something that I'm just going to note about this art here is, these are very straight lines, the straight buildings. Not that there couldn't be straight lines in a, bygone era, in the Hyperborean era, or Hyborian kingdoms, as it says. But yeah, like it's very straight. Got a nice little cat silhouette here. I like that little cat silhouette. But but like I don't know, like the simplification of the figures at distance is nice. Everything, all that reads properly. I love the inclusion of like a dog and also people just doing stuff. I think that's really good for a crowd scene. But yeah, like the buildings are a little straight, a little simple. I'm not sure what's going on with these windows here, but they're big and empty, real big and empty. Yeah, we got people in the guy in the stocks here that we're noting. But yeah, there's something kind of I'm noting about those buildings that just seems it's a little rigid, but it's also up to the artist, because the artist clearly likes drawing these figures. He likes being a little nice and expressive here. Costuming isn't bad. It's very plain, but you know what? For plainness is actually not necessarily a bad thing. I also have these little dramatic little vignettes, but I bet you we're not going to see that bloody stump. Also, am I crazy, or is that hand really small? I don't know. I'm not trying to rake anybody over the coals here. I really don't, because I know how hard it is to put a comic together. And I really love this panel right here. Really love just the dimension he gives the face, and like the desperation, the exhaustion on it. It's really nice. But we do have, we do have a bloody stump. But he didn't just cut off the wrist, he cut off the whole fucking forearm. Pardon my French. And then we have a bunch of forearms on here. And what I like this creative setup here is that they murdered and they cut off their head. They stole, they lost their arm. And we don't see that, but we can probably imagine what male body part is dangling, up here, for sure. But I just also love her expression on it. It's horrifying. So this is the world she's entered. So at first it seems quite nice, and then we get our first hint that there's something up here, So right here. So I think that's interesting. Yeah, and I'm not sure. We're setting up a new storyline anyway. A classic medieval tavern here. We got torches, we got a bar. Or at least fantasy tavern here. Probably not genuine to a medieval tavern, but here, she's here waiting for, Godot, and here's Godot, and we can tell it's Godot because we can see her bum. And we see that chainmail bikini that she wears, which people love it, and it's a distinct look. There she is, in all of her glory. I just feel like, it's for a particular audience for sure. There's all sorts of people can like it, and you know what? It's all right. It's I don't know, the way the colorist did this and everything. It's clear there's nothing underneath, which, can I just say that looks like it's really uncomfortable, like pinchy in all the worst ways. Anyway, so I'm just gonna kind of breeze through this and just say that it's just the art's fine. There's nothing. I mean, it's just I kind of want a little more kind of not necessarily grossness, but just a little less perfection in some of these lines. They're following perspective, and they're doing a decent job of that, like anybody would. But I just think that there needs to be a little bit more of imperfection. They get some of that in the ground here, and in some of the walls here, although the colorist is also doing some nice texture work there for the rocks. But I could use a little more. I really like this silhouette of a bird pecking out a guy's eye, though. That's, I like just, around the fringes there's danger. And then this lady gets stabbed with a magic sword, which I like the imagery of that. That looks like it's not a real sword, and yet she's getting stabbed nonetheless. And so I feel like that works. We have a nice little pieta here of Red Sonja with this lady here. But yeah, this is just setting up the storyline that goes ongoing in the book. I feel like this is a strong posture panel. I love that she's reaching for her sword, ready to go, but then she makes her escape, and I don't know. I love these little panels. I feel like the little panels really work for me, just because it's it's action, and I think that it's just works really well. Really nice, posture there. Nothing wrong with that. I like the silhouette of guys. I think that's nice. The crossbow firing here. Yeah. When it comes to the action, I think, it turns it up, and it's also action you can follow. They're crossing blades, and she's knocking them back, and this guy, but this guy, helps her out. I think it all has shit it works with. But then this guy, he's getting magicked over, and he's attacking her, and so she's got to defend herself. So it's a nice quick little story with some twists. I think that it's an interesting setup. And again, it's different how this is definitely a more modern artist doing their own thing. Whereas De La Torre is very much going for a kind of more old school form of inking and drawing, which I'm very drawn to. Love this, and definitely want to cover this at some point, is Black, White, and Red, because those type of short story anthologies with different creators and the limitation of the color, I think can be really great. I actually have a volume of that has some interesting work. But here's what I want to talk about, is this great Dick Giordano, Roy Thomas, Red Sonja story. Just to show you the difference in how they were drawn at different times. So this is a story from I believe the 70s or the 80s. Let's see here. Do they say in the beginning? 75. So, contemporary with John Buscema's Conan. And, it's the same character, same outfit, but, the line work's different. It's Dick Giordano. And this is definitely modern coloring. I'm not the biggest fan of when they recolor stuff in a modern way, like old stuff. I feel like if they can keep it as close to the original, I think that is best. Or just the straight line work. I do like the knife here. That's nice. But yeah, and he's got straight lines here too. I'm gonna point that out here too. With the blocks and stuff like that. But it also, we get these kind of uncanny, kind of Dutch angles and hidden things, and also I love the cobwebs on this weird sculpture and these creatures. I don't know, it's mysterious. And she gets ambushed by this goat man that you're gonna find out. And I don't know, it's a nice quick little short story. She narrowly avoids getting dropped down a pit. And she, like Conan before, as well, she fights, or she has a moral compass. She has a moral sense. And so she sees this guy who's trapped, and frees him, at the very least, but then also releases him from his torment. So it's barbarian kindness, but it's still a form of kindness. And then here she's beset with multiple satyrs, and these weird, gross satyrs. And satyrs versus anybody is going to be rough, because satyrs are gross mythological creatures who, I mean, they didn't know about boundaries. Let's just say that. But yeah, she breaks his pan flutes, and that stops the spell they had, one of them had over the others. and she drops him down into the pit and says goodbye. And so it's a nice quick little story. You know, it was definitely like a backup of some kind, you know, or at least like an additional story. But like, just great physicality from Dick Giordano. You know, and yeah, it's just yeah, it's a nice little story. Again, I would prefer to see it like in its original colors, just because I feel like there would just be something a little more dynamic or a little more interesting to look at, like with the shadows and lights and stuff like that. I'd like to compare this to the original at some point, but yeah. Anyway, you know, and then they gotta throw in all their advertisements in the back of the free books, you know, and all these Red Sonja collections. Red Sonja, you know, talk about character with legs. No pun intended. So that's an example of two modern versions of these classic characters. And these were free books. So, you know, nothing, no overhead on purchasing these or whatever. But, you know, if you want to help support me making videos, then you can actually buy my comics that do cost money. This is my book Side Questers. It's a fantasy book that stars a noble warrior and her new best friend, who's a 9-foot lizard man. It's got magic. It's got, you know, adventure, friendship, busting heads, hacking limbs. It's got it all. You can buy these individual issues, or you can buy the collected version of it. It's all 8 of the first issues. It's the first full arc of the story. And I also have these books of short stories called Haxon. All this can be read on platform. They can all be read on Global Comics. They can all be read on Global Comics. So if you just want to go over there and check it out and read it and see if you like it, that is totally cool, and I would love it. Also, if you like other comic book stuff, I have my 3-panel origin collection. It's my web comic that I update every Thursday, and this is just the first 3 years of it. I'm in year 8 now, or 7, I don't know. And then this is a book of short stories relating to some of the characters in 3-panel origin. It's like comedy, superhero origins. So it's like, you know, Cheese Lady and a Puritan, a pizza guy, you know. So all in all, if you want to support me, you can buy those books. But in the end, I'm going to say I'm going to be picking up some Red Sonja in the future and some Conan the Barbarian in the future. And I'll keep up with it as long as it's, you know, something that I like. But, yeah. Thanks for coming.